Hey, it's Brain Muffin back, and all we can talk about is Star Wars Episode 9. Star Wars Episode 9, Star Wars Episode 9. So here we have another article from Screen Rant. Thomas Bacon, isn't that the guy that founded a college or something? So the Skywalker saga's real villain unites Rey and Kylo. So is she a Skywalker now? The real villain. So it wasn't Snoke? Because, Ruin Johnson just basically crapped everything. He really ended the entire trilogy on purpose, and Kathleen let him do it. That's what's so dumb about it. The latest Star Wars 9 rumor hint that Rey and Kylo Ren, just Kylo, may be forced to work together against the franchise's greatest threat, Rey's child. Star Wars Episode 9 from Outer Space faces a massive challenge. Not only does it have to complete both the story of Rey, and that of Star Wars canon, but it also has to effectively justify the very existence of the sequel trilogy. No, that should have been the first movie. It has to explain why George Lucas' story of Vader wasn't quite complete. Well, these latest 3 films, but see, that's a mistake they made. They should have just put it, 100 years in the future, and everything was legendary, and maybe you have some kind of cameo things with the original actors and kind of, I don't want to say flashbacks, but maybe the Force Ghost or something like that. And why necessary in order to close the book. The book was closed really in the movies in episode 6. And for me, episode 7 does not ruin that. Episode 7 is fan fiction. It is really poorly written extended universe. Actually going to be pretty difficult to pull off, not at least because all the most obvious links to the classic Star Wars films are gone. Yep. And was set to return in episode 9. The fact remains Lucas has, you know what? Maybe he isn't actually dead. Maybe he transported himself. Because his hand did not clang. He should not have a mechanical hand as a Force ghost, and that should have been left behind. So I think he teleported himself. So I don't think he's dead. And Hervisher is actually dead. So, however, the latest reports suggest that episode 9 from Outer Space could tie back to the Imperial era in a smart, subtle way. Subtle. I know it's subtle, but I like subtle. I know it's subtle, but I like subtle because I'm from the soil. Yeah, really? So the new villain. So there's the new villain? Really? According to the latest Star Wars, only 2 previously reliable sources claim that the villain is about to face a terrifying new threat from the beyond. Yeah, see, this is how the first movie should have been. That's the kind of crap that should have happened. Not the J.J. Abrams semi-reboot, let's redo A New Hope scene per scene nonsense. Maybe you have a First Order and maybe they have some power, but then something comes up that causes them, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and they have to join forces. So this would have been great with the first movie. And reactions of the story progressed. So the second went further, suggesting that the Knights of Ren were mentioned and mysteriously absent because Rian Johnson was just trying to crap on everybody's charcoal. No one seems to get that. That's exactly what he did, and he was 100% successful with it. So that's the part that when I say Last Jedi was smart, that's he meant to do it, and he did it, and no one was the wiser or didn't care. It's about to get a lot more complex. Whether the beyond may be, wherever, it seems reasonable to assume that it's found in the unknown regions, which explains why it's never been encountered before. Okay. Best described by Chuck Wendig in his novel Aftermath Empire. You mean the one that's really, really horrible, where everything goes pew pew, literally? I don't want to read that. In a classic Star Wars trope, the idea that a dark force exists in the shadows and has malevolent intent. That's not a Star Wars trope. That's just an old, be careful of the shadows. Yea, that I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. I mean, that is something that goes back, millennia, thousands of years. And, as the Zan Vog swept out of the galactic realm, God bless, launching a devastating blitzkrieg that forces the New Republic and the Imperial Remnant to work together against them. Star Wars Episode 9 could be taking a similar approach with a new threat emerging. New World Order novels, New Jedi Order. Tie-ins at the height of the power. I was obsessed with except they never mentioned them. So, that's a little bit hard to say that it ties into the original trilogy. At least, now granted, all the prequel movies, I've only seen each one time. So maybe Palpatine talked about the unknown regions and I just wasn't paying attention. Empire Aftermath. Okay, that's not here and there. To me, that's not canon. At the time, Snoke turned out to be a lot less important in the Star Wars trilogy than anyone expected, only because they let Ryan do it. You know, Ryan was trying to crap on JJ's parade, and Kathleen let him do it, as opposed to saying, no, you will use the treatments that Jar Jar already wrote. It led to recruit an alien named Thrawn in the Empire. Okay, into the Empire. So, is that the Thrawn trilogy? Is that the actual Thrawn? Or is this the new Thrawn? Sent Thrawn to the very edge of the unknown to validate a potential threat, which introduced an alien race. Okay, well, maybe this is from the EU, the real EU, not the bullshit EU. As learned, I didn't read any of them, so I don't know. Last remnants of the Empire fled to the unknown regions after the Battle of Jakku. Okay, nope, this is the new bullshit EU. Okay. But that doesn't mean that the signal stopped there. Of course, the Ryan's Supreme Leader Snoke wasn't the source of this malevolent signal. Then it's entirely possible to become aware of its. He too became aware of it before his death. Although Snoke wasn't a Sith, he was greedy and vain, and would have desired to master it. He could have sent out his agents looking for it, and that's what's more. Snoke is believed to have originated from the unknown regions. Okay, well, I haven't succeeded in finding whether it was Palpatine had sensed. Okay, Force all the way for the galactic core, and it's most definitely rooted in the dark side. From there, the Star Wars tropes we can more really. You're doing a pro Star Wars. I think. I mean, this is Screen Rant. I would expect a pro Disney Star Wars article, and you got to use this kind of language. Come on. I mean, come on. Let's get real. Dark side burns with anger and greed, desire to. A dark side burns. I read. Yeah, that's the First Order may be the galactic power, but it's actually quite a weak one. And it's okay. Yeah, that kind of distance, I would expect it to be weak. It'd be more like something kind of luring, it kind of calling like a siren song. Is Kylo Ren's deal with the threat of he can't deal with crap. Bigger than that, personal alliance between Rey and Kylo Ren. In the galaxy, I don't know. Broom Boy might be a little bit stronger. I mean, he's very young and already knows how to move stuff without getting into a battle and closing his eyes. He might be the dark force from the unseen, from the unknown territories. Terms, the entire saga was being built up in the moment when light and dark coexist in balance. There's so much is made of that. I think is BS. Perhaps the Chosen One, which was also crap. One of the many reasons I don't like the prequels. The fight being destroyed in the Jedi Order. The Star Wars canon has generally avoided giving the definition of the term balance. That's for sure. And explained by the closest core was Guardians of the Wills. Included upon an old poem, it says the moment between breaths is the force, the balance of the force between life and death, rest and action, serenity and passion, hope and despair. That's kind of odd because we get the Ben Kenobi. Obi-Wan says when you're at peace, there you'll be in the light side. That's when not Ben Kenobi. Well, he says it sort of, but Yoda's one that says it that way. The poem explicitly contradicts both the Sith and the codes. Death, action. I don't know about death, but they are definitely power and passion. According to definition, both are necessary for balance. Is that the Grey Jedi? Are we dealing with the Grey Jedi? Meanwhile, through the Empire's actions, this idea became a smart narrative link that runs all the way through the original trilogy and even the prequels when Palpatine was considering consolidating his powers and Rey, according to this theory, confronting a threat that the previous big bad himself sensed, a dark side so vast that the Emperor longed to take command of it. Okay, so it just kind of ends. So it goes into a lot of backstory and the crappy EU books, and this is just another reaching article trying to keep Star Wars in the news. But hey, maybe they're right. But like I said, if this is true, I would rather see this at the beginning, and so we get hints of it. Maybe they destroy something, and then in the second one, it comes out much larger. So maybe it was dealing with both of them independently. In the third one, they have to unite and fight it. But to have them do this at the end, so you got to introduce yet another bad guy. There's a lot of crap from The Last Jedi they got to clean up, and this just feels like too much for this should have been the overarching theme. Again, I mean, there's one hand it's been reported that they didn't have a plan, and the other hand it said that Jar Jar had treatments for 8 and 9, but they were trashed. 8 was trashed by Ruin, and the guy that was writing 9 quit, and then that director was fired, and a bunch of other crap. So I don't know. And it seems like Ryan filmed like three movies or something, amount of unused stuff, and was probably just, kind of, I don't know, it's not called groundhogging, but something, kind of keeping people off balance and along. Oh, he's going to make a great movie. And then he put together what he really wanted, which was an anti-capitalist propaganda film. And he just crapped on the whole thing saying, ha, I fooled you. He pulled a great fast one on everybody. So I don't know. But hey, what do you think? Do you think this theory holds up? Do you think it's really going to make a difference with Star Wars 9? Already the expectations of this movie are dropping. The forecasted revenues are dropping drastically. We're down below $1 billion, and I've heard numbers as low as $600 million gross worldwide for this film. That would be unbelievably bad for a Star Wars movie, especially one that's because no one is excited. Well, there are some people, but they're all being paid. But the hardcore fans are not excited about this movie. The toy sales show that the new sequel trilogy is not doing well. And now it's just insane how much money Disney is losing. All right, $180 million last year that they'll at least admit to. So that is bad. All right. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sharing this all over the interwebs. And I thank you all, you new subscribers. And I am going to get back to more of this kind of content. Please give me a thumbs up and a like. And like I said, share the living crap out of it and give me all the comments. All right. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. Yep. So that way I don't go too loud. So I'll crank this up. She's 6'3". So yeah, she's got long legs. Really strong too. I mean, in a good way, not overly strong. Man, once I showed her how to do squats, deadlifts, and walking lunges in the back. She kind of likes walking lunges because of the core work she gets, but lying leg curls, very slowly negative. I mean, like 6-second negative, popped her ass out so nicely. She's putting my hands now, loving every minute of it. It's awesome. Okay, Elizabeth, can we get back to the recording? I mean, I'm really behind on this, right? Thanks. All right. We only got 5 minutes. Okay, shoot. 3, 2, 1.